Dear students, welcome to Lal Sir's classes. In this particular video, we are going to talk about a poem written by Kamala. The title of the poem is My Mother at 66. Now, something about the poet. Kamala, Malayalam pen name Madhavi Kutti, Muslim name Kamala Suraya, was born on March 31st, 1934 at Thrissur, Malabar coast. She wrote both in English, mostly poetry, and under the pen name Madhavi Kutti in the Malayalam language of southern India. She died on May 31st, 2009. Now let's understand the poem. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doze, open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile, smile, and smile. Now, looking at the paraphrase of the poem, when the poet is on her way to the Cochin airport with her old mother sitting beside her, she looks at her closely. As she looks at her mother's pale and pallid face, she is struck with the horror and pain of losing her. The mother with the dozing face and open mouth is compared to a corpse. Here the poet shows the typical love and affection which is present in a mother-daughter relation. The poet is pained and shifts her attention outside the car in order to drive out the negative feelings. She changes her sad mood. The scene outside the window is of growing life and energy. The rapidly sprinting trees alongside the merrily playing children symbolize life, youth, and vitality. The poet here is reminded of her own childhood when her mother had been young, whereas now she is encircled with the fear of losing her, and that has made her insecure. At the security check at the airport, it indicates departure and separation, which creates melancholy, that is sadness. As she bids goodbye to her mother, the image of the old, wan, worn-out mother in the twilight of years strikes her again. Here again, a simile is used to compare her mother with a late winter's moon, whose light is obstacled by fog and mist. As she looks old now, her personality is affected by it. The poet is feeling the pain of separation, leaving her mother and going. Also, her childhood fear of losing her mother, which she feels that earlier was temporary, but now could be forever, as she could die of old age, is haunting her. She is so pained that it is natural for her to cry, but keeping a brave front, she hides her natural feeling her tears and smiles in front of her mother. Now, talking about the paraphrase we have seen. Now talking about the theme of the poem, My Mother at 66, the poem revolves around the theme of advancing age and the fear of impending loss and separation. It is a sentimental account of mother's approaching end, impending death, through the eyes of the daughter. As far as the genre of the poem is concerned, it is confessional, first-person monologue. As far as the type of verse is concerned, we find it to be a free verse, non-metrical, non-rhyming lines that closely follow the natural rhythms of speech. A regular pattern of sound or rhythm may emerge in free verse lines, but the poet doesn't adhere to a metrical plan in her composition. Now, talking about the poetic devices. In the poem, My Mother at 66, if we look here, we have the first one, that is assonance. Assonance, prominent sound of O. The first one, home to Cochin last Friday morning. Second, doors open, mouth, O. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. Now here we find the sound of O very prominently used. Okay. The next poetic device which is used by the poet is simile. The color of the poetess mother's face has been compared to that of a corpse, like, using like. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. So it is simile. The next one is consonance. Now here I, prominent sound of T. Here, put that thought away and looked out at young. Okay. The second, prominent sound of S, that she was old as she looked but soon. So here we find the prominent sound of S. Okay. Imagery. The description about children playing and sprinting trees is given. Trees sprinting, merry children spilling out of their homes. Repetition. The word looked has been repeated. Personification. The trees are said to be sprinting, running. Trees sprinting, the merry children spilling. Now if you see here, the personification, we can also say it is transferred epithet. Why? Because sprinting word is epithet and it has been transferred from human to non-human, that is the word trees. So therefore can be transferred epithet as well. Of course, as far as the marking scheme of Cbse goes, we always have personification and transferred epithet both accepted. Contrast. The difference between poetess mother and children is shown by using the word old and young. Similarly, again, the poetess mother face has been compared to the late winter's moon, using as pale as a late winter's moon. So, similarly, in consonance, we find prominent sound of S, security check, standing a few yards. Symbolism. Winter's moon is a symbol of decay, repetition. The word smile has been used thrice. All I did was smile, smile and smile. Alliteration. We have repetition of the letter S. Here, smile, smile and smile. The whole word. See you soon, Amma. See you soon, Saw. this also will qualify for alliteration. In between we find a word U that is monosyllable. Therefore, it will qualify. Saucer, SS, used consonant sound. Okay, that is again alliteration. That's all in this video. Hope you would like this video. If you like it, please subscribe and like the video. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.